What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Fridge Financials video. In today's video, we are breaking down what happens when you are assigned on a covered call option. So if you are excited for today's video or curious to hear how the breakdown is done, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on those bell notifications for all future uploads. Now, as you will see on my screen here, you will see that we were assigned Novo Nordisk $58 call options. What that basically means is that I was forced to sell Novo Nordisk shares at $58 each. Now, when you take a look at Novo Nordisk and what it's trading at over $62. So essentially what has happened is I was forced to sell them at a lower price than what the market closed at on Friday. Now, why would I do this? What is the reason behind it? And where do we go from here? Okay. Because again, I was quote unquote, I don't want to say forced, but you are forced, you are obligated to sell your 100 shares at $58. Why would somebody want that? Because now whoever had my contract, that bought my contract, now got $4 cheaper, $4.66 cheaper for Novo Nordisk than what it's currently trading at. So they're already up in the profits come Monday morning. Excuse me, I'm just still battling this cold here. I don't know what's going on. So as you will see here, we can go all the way down. And I made videos about Novo Nordisk before about how I think they are doing very, very well as a company here. So we'll kind of break down all of the strat ever since we started this position at the end of middle of last year. So I sold a $69 Novo Nordisk put option back in June of last year. Okay, on the 16th, I collected $51 for it. Now, what ended up happening is that I took the assignment of Novo Nordisk at $69 because it closed below that price at expiration. And this essentially is the idea of the start of the wheel strategy. The wheel strategy is you're selling put options, you get assigned, then you sell call options, then you get assigned. So I was assigned at $69 every single share for a total of $6,900 and made $51 back. I was like, woo, okay. Then I sold a call option at $72. That way it was like, oh, okay, if it goes to $72, I make $300 there plus $200 here. I make some good money and we call it a day. Then I bought it back because news broke out, I believe, and Novo Nordisk sold. Like it was sold off a decent amount here. I don't know if we can actually see it on the chart here. So this is back in I don't feel like look at the chart. Honestly, I don't feel like looking at the chart. But you can look back at the chart and see what these trades happen. So I bought it back to close because it only took a couple weeks. There was not really much value left here, so I'd be up $160 here. So right now I'd be up $160 plus the 51 at $211 I've collected from this position. Okay. Then sold another one, $77 here, July 21st for August. Week later, or a couple weeks later, go by. Actually, it was about a week later, looks like, and bought it back for $3. This, I think, was maybe when Novo tanked. Novo tanked at some point, and it was just like, I was like, oh boy, what do we do? So it tanked. I mean, another $74 here. So I'm at like $280 right now of cash I've brought in. Then I sold a 55. Again, remember, and this is not what you should do when you're selling cover calls in the wheel strategy. You should not be selling call options on companies that would assign you at a cheaper price than what you bought in at. I bought it at 69 and I was selling at 55. So I'm already realizing that actual loss. I sold it for $220 though. I made $222. And that one I believe expired, which was absolutely great. And so that put me at, I believe, about $500 or so I've made now from Novo Nordisk. About $500 plus a dividend of $40, $540. Plus I sold this option right here, puts me at about $600 I've collected from Novo Nordisk. Now, I paid $6,900 for this position to open up, as you will see. I paid $6,900 for it. And all I did was sell it back for $5,800. So I did take a loss. I took an $1,100 loss there, minus the $600 collected in premium, puts me at about a loss of $500. But while this was going on here, and my individual portfolio didn't have as much of the cash available as much as my Roth IRA, in my Roth IRA, I was like, you know what? I'm going to hedge my Novo Nordisk position in my different portfolio here. So what did I do? I bought Novo Nordisk Leap options for 2027. And now these are up $741. So between the two accounts, thankfully, we are up. Not by a lot, but we are up in this case. Now, people are going to say, Fridge, why would you not just roll out that call option? Why would you not roll your call option out there and just try to get that share price as a result? And the reason being is that, what the option was trading at that time. I don't know if you can see it in here right now. Let me see. Nope, you really can't. Rolling it out just wouldn't make sense because I was already down like $300, $400 there. I had to roll it out to a farther date and to hopefully get a better expiry. Like, it just becomes a lot. Sometimes in life, we take assignment and we just go with it. All right. And what this does is it allows me to free up some cash now. So now I got $5,800 back in my portfolio to then trade around with and kind of go from there. But again, if you sell a call option and it closes above that strike price, you are forced to assign, you are assigned to give up your shares. So that's what's happening here. So my 100 shares that I had to give up at a cheaper price. And it is what it is. I lost a little bit of money on the way, but right now I'm still up overall on Novo Nordisk. And hopefully those leave options do very, very well long-term still. But now my goal is to say, okay, at one point, Novo Nordisk was at like $46. So I was actually okay with taking a little bit of that money back. Like, it was like, $45. It was as low as. So the fact that it climbed back up from 45 up to about 58, again, it still made about $1,300 there. I was like, you know what? Let me cut my losses here. This could be a very volatile trade. I made some money back. I'm down a little bit of money here, but let's open up some cash into some new trades. Excuse me. So that's what happened now. So now you can see I have a lot more buying power in here, and I actually don't have any margin being used because I have all this cash available still, which is great. I have not been able to use my margin. Oh my God, excuse me. So I've not been able. So now I'm essentially out of margin, which actually is very good. Being out of margin right now when markets are volatile right now and at all-time highs, being out of margin to me is actually a very good strategy. So also taking that assignment on allows me to be out of my margin positions that I had when I was selling options over here. And now these are actual cash positions and not just margin. So that way there's no margin call risk because I'm not using it right now. Where do we go from here? Well, where we go from here is we can now sell some options. Now, one of the plays I like still, even though they had bad earnings, it seems like, they just didn't have a good enough reaction to earnings here. I still like MBLY overall. I think they're very undervalued right now. They're trading at a very deep discount of $9.78, which is great. So I open up like $6,000 of playroom to kind of, start trading options and get some passive income as we go. So for example, if I want to go to MBLY and go to the end of February 20th, for example, I want to sell a put option on it. I could, sell a $9 put option here. Bid-ask spread is pretty close. Delta is pretty good, as you will see here. And the volume is there and open interest is there. And I would make about 2.5% on this trade right here. And that's for $900. So I made 2.5%. I'll collect $25 in my portfolio, give or take. And I would be able to then go from there. And if I get assigned at $9, okay, well, I think it's still a very undervalued play for the long term. So, not too bad. If I wanted to go farther out, maybe go to the 27th and go a whole month out in this case, I could sell the $9 one again. I could sell an $8.50 one and make a little bit less money, but I could do a $9 one for almost $30. It's over 3%. It's still the same delta. Bid-ask pretty close. Volume is still there with open interest. So that could be a play I could be looking at, definitely do it for sure. So what the assignment has now allowed me to do is to now open up my investments and not have, $7,000 or $6,000 all tied up into one stock, right? I could diversify a little bit. Another company that I really much liked was, you can look at SEZL, for example. I think SEZL is still an undervalued play potentially. This one would be a little bit more of a cost basis to it because obviously it's trading a little bit more of a price. But if you wanted to go, to the 20th, which would be 27 days out, you could sell a $55 call option. It's actually got a really bad bid ask spread that's really bad. You want to kind of look for a decent bid ask so you get filled pretty nicely. Like this one, for example, at $60, you have a decent bid ask spread, nothing crazy, but a very good delta, decent open interest here, some good implied volatility, and you'd make about a little over 3% again in about a month. So with instead of me rolling out that Novo Nordisk call option or that call option over and over again and hoping that and just kind of ride the wave, I can just take that money and just start buying and start selling cash secured puts. Another one I actually like that has I think very very good IV is Coupang right now. Coupang is already sold off 13% year to date. It's basically coming back down to April 8th about the $20 or so. And last 5 years, lows about $11. But it's kind of coming back down to like that 19-ish dollar level that you see there. If you wanted to go to say February 27, go far out, sell, put option. And again, this is going to cost me, if I wanted to go to even, let's see what the math would be on that. If I was to go, let's go look at the bid ask. Again, the bid ask is what really matters to me, honestly. That one's like, I go a little bit farther out here. Let me see. Looking for a very good, that one's a bad bid ask spread. Good Lord. Look at it. So this is what we mean by bid ask spreads that are bad. Look at this. Like it's a $1 versus a $200. Like that's a huge difference, which we don't want. Let's take a look and see. These are all like not that good. Coupang, what are we doing? Excuse me. So like this one, for example, this one is like not like the best, but it's not the worst. A 31 delta, which is a pretty good delta still. Good open interest, good volume, decent bid ask spread where you're getting filled around $50 or so, which means you're looking at about a 3% ROI again in about 27 days. And again, I would have the $1,900 go aside into cash collateral. And then we keep the $54 in hopes that it doesn't go down $19 by the end of this month. Which, again, is what we could essentially do to use this cash to our advantage, right? If I wanted to, go in more on Wendy's, I could do more on Wendy's, obviously. Again, look at those cheaper plays, for example. I know a lot of people like ACHR is another one that could be potentially one of those undervalued plays. You can go to this one, for example, and trade this one out. You can do a sell put option here. You can find a bunch of different trades you could do, like a 750 right here. You're looking at, again, over 3% ROI, really good bid ask spread, really low delta, really high implied volatility, decent volume open interest. Like you could make some really good money. And if I could be able to take that $5,800 and make 3% on it over different trades, again, not putting it all in the one basket here. So we were assigned those 100 shares here, but that's okay. Again, that is part of it. Again, we were sold off our shares for $58 each one. Do we take some losses on this account? Yes. Are we up in their account? Yes. But now the goal is to use that money to then spread out into other positions. Okay. So that's something that's really, really important to keep in mind about. Again, if you're doing the wheel strategy, you want to hopefully make sure that you're selling it above what you got purchased at. So I got bought in at $69. I only sold at $58. I lost some money on it. But it's a learning experience for us all here. But now I have, almost $6,000 available to then sell some options, collect some cash, build the positions back up here, and then diversify and not have all the eggs in one basket. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did make this far in the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications as always for all future uploads. Feel free if you want to, as always, take part in the walk-in freezer and the open the fridge door memberships as you might see over here. If you want your name on here, you want access to live videos, or live streams that are only membership only, you want members only videos, you want badges, emojis, you name it, it's there for you. Feel free to check it out if you want to. You can find that on the channel. Hope you're making money in the market in some way, shape, or form. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video.